Hey everyone, it's Mia. I am going to give a go at doing a first video book blog review thing. I apologize for the shaking camera. I don't have a tripod, so I am trying to use my knee as a bit of a support with my phone. The first book that I want to review is FIRSTS by Laurie Elizabeth Flynn, who I'm more recently getting to know and think is incredibly awesome. First revolves around 17-year-old Mercedes as she engages in some questionable activity. Questionable activity meaning that she sleeps with guys who are virgins. She had a rule, 10 virgins that she would sleep with, who all had girlfriends in order to teach them how to give their girlfriend the perfect first time, the perfect, everything to make sure it was fantastic, that it was magical, that there would be fireworks. And you can guess by a story like this that it's going to enrage a ton of people. It's very hard to write books in general that are sex positive, especially if they are involving high schoolers. At the same time, this is something that I think is absolutely critical to include. If people have more open dialogue about what teenagers do, and yes, to all of the people that have been writing on Goodreads that this is unbelievable, this is very true. This is accurate. Maybe in your area you didn't experience it, but I can even say growing up and the difference from when I lived in Montclair, which was a city, to then going to Voorhees High School, which was super rural. This was absolutely accurate. Mercedes might as well have been one of the girls that I hung out with all the time. And if people talk about stuff like this and realistic first times and expectations and everything, it's basically going to reinforce that some of these feelings are okay to have. That if someone is going to engage in sex, that it needs to be safe. Protection, the pill, the combination of both, always using protection. That's something that a lot of people overlook, and it's a little bit scary and terrifying. Um, when I saw the description for FIRSTS, I thought it was going to be interesting. I thought it was going to break my heart because there was a little part of the description where it said, Mercedes is doing this in order to make up for her first time, which is an absolute disaster. So when you hear something like that, then okay, there's going to be a bad situation. And we can kind of assume straight from that, spoiler alert, it might be a little bit non-consensual. And by a little bit, I mean completely non-consensual. And when you go through themes like that, and involving statutory rape, minors, people that are way too young, teen pregnancy, teen miscarriage, oh my gosh, soul crushing. And it's kind of a neat thing where you have a book where you're so drawn to it and you don't expect to lose it. You know that it's going to be sad. You don't expect to basically sit with your computer, with your Kindle app, going and sending DMs to the author nonstop, just saying, I love your book, I'm obsessed with your book, I need to keep reading your book. I did not expect to sob hysterically for 2 hours. No joke, 2 hours, because 1 hour I was reading while sobbing hysterically, and then it gave me about an hour afterwards where I continued to sob. It's that soul crushing. The ending is uplifting. Yes, absolutely. It's a very nice uplifting ending. But the way that Flynn goes and takes your heart and just crushes it and punches you in the gut and punches you in the throat and makes you realize like how horrible this situation is. It just I can't describe it. I know that that sounds cliche, especially being an author. We're sort of against this whole idea of being cliche and being like this. I can't help it. I can't. For a book like this, this is just so powerful. It's you're seeing me right now sitting here overwhelmed by how incredible this read was. One of the things, and also just commenting, the Goodreads rating is too low, without question. Right now it's listed as a 3.69, no, it's a 3.76, I believe. That is way too low. This book, and this year I've been lucky where the 4 books that I finished this year have all been 5 stars, and all from authors that I know. I was very, very lucky that this happened. This book should be mandatory reading. without question, any teenager in high school, and not just that, but parents. And is it going to mortify some parents? Absolutely, absolutely. But if you're not in the loop, then there's an issue. As well, one of the reasons why it has to be absolutely critical for parents to read is that it goes through warning signs. It goes through parents that aren't there. There are a lot of really well-meaning parents that sometimes miss warning signs. This is something that really stood out to me, because my book also deals with parents that are absent and who miss warning signs and are so caught up in their world and their dream, that they're not quite able to see the needs of their children, such as the cases with Mercedes, which is just absolutely heartbreaking. So yeah, I believe that it's a mandatory read. Anyone in high school, anyone's parents. I think people need to get over the fact that it's a sex positive book, that it is explicit, that it will break your heart, and that it's okay to have certain feelings or to enjoy certain acts. Sometimes people seem to think, oh, if you're writing a book that's young adult and these acts happen, that it either needs to be absolutely magical, or if it's horrible, it needs to be a very violent situation that we emphasize with. If we don't talk about the physical pleasure aspect of it, it's extremely dangerous, especially for people that are involved with statutory rape. People need to talk about, yeah, this is, something that happens. A lot of times people, step forward or don't step forward, I should say, because they think that it's consent. They're not sure how to really deal with that. This book doesn't necessarily have the answers to everything, which makes me even warmer, towards this read. So that said, I can't say enough good about it. There's one quote that I just wanted to read from it that I loved so much, which says, "Fireworks don't just happen. They need to be carefully arranged and then ignited slowly." I think that's just absolutely beautiful. It really sets the tone for the book. And to write about something that could be grotesque and otherwise just flawless. So either way, that's a little bit of a rambling time. I realize also that I'm holding my camera vertically, so which I don't think I'm supposed to do. I also don't have the tripod, so it's very shaky. I apologize. But we're, just really wanted to give a go with the video review, because I'm still incoherent and I still haven't been able to do much on my Goodreads. In fact, for my Goodreads review, which I put down, I posted it on January 7th, which was, the debut. I'm going to need to go back to this later to properly review it. One sitting, start to finish, with so much bawling on my end. I was expecting my soul to be crushed. I didn't expect my heart to be yanked out. Just incredible novel, humbling one. I will edit this because I think that I've had a little bit more time to digest it, but still the fact that today is January 26th and it's still taking me this long to deal with it, just unbelievable. Laurie, you did an amazing job, so congratulations for this startling debut that just makes people feel, and I really hope that some people get over the shock of what this book is and use the message so that they can help teens. And really, that's the important thing. If you write a coming of age story, which you've done so well, you did an incredible job. We really need to think about what teens want. We're not writing a book for adults. Young adult is for teenagers. However, if adults can learn from it, that's a huge, tremendous success. So again, all my extended congratulations to you, Laurie. Tremendous, tremendous debut. I think it's absolutely spectacular. And also, people should totally check out the book trailer for it because it is really, really, really freaking cool. It's awesome. So anyway, that's that. We'll see about how this goes, and I might try to do a few other little review thingies. All right, bye.